To help us break down the report and explain what's behind the boost in confidence is William Dunkelberg. Bill is the chief economist at the NFIB, and he joins us live from Philadelphia. Welcome to you. All right, an improvement, but still, perhaps if you think it's fair to characterize this as another example of less bad for a sector in the economy.
I couldn't have said it better. You know, less bad is good news, I guess, but it's still a very poor reading. And the question is why? If you go back to the 1980-82 period, the index was below 90 only one quarter. We're in 7 quarters now with the index that low. We don't seem to be able to go anywhere. And of course, that's the difficulty we have.
So you did post an increase this month in January for the first time in 3 months, and you point in your release to an improving outlook for sales. Is that anything to hang our hat on, anything to get excited about by way of the all-important consumer spender?
Well, I think that's it. 31% of our owners say that poor sales is their top problem. We looked at expected sales and reports of actual sales quarter over quarter, and those numbers improved a little bit, but they're both still very negative, meaning 20 to 25 percentage points more. Owners say sales are headed down quarter on quarter than headed up. Profits, it's like 40% say profits are headed down. So yeah, it got a little bit better, but not good enough to really get this job-generating machine in operation.
How close are you keeping an eye on Washington and all this stuff coming out of the Capitol? We just heard from Larry Summers of the National Economic Council saying he's optimistic about a jobs bill. When our interviewer Peter Cook said, well, how big should it be? He said, I'm more concerned about it being too little. You've got the small business aid package that the president outlined last week with the $30 billion lending fund. I mean, are you optimistic that these programs will have a direct impact improving small business in this country?
Well, not really. First of all, let's look at the $30 billion lending program. I mean, you know, small business produces half the private sector GDP and employs 60 to 70% of the private workforce. $30 billion is nothing compared to, say, $80 billion the government put just into 2 companies. I mean, it's a small number for such an important group, and the White House does say the small business is really important and they need them to generate jobs. There's not much there. Then they're talking about a jobs tax credit, but nobody's going to hire a $30,000 worker to get a $5,000 credit if that worker can't earn enough, say a net $25,000 in extra sales to cover the cost of hiring them. And that's the problem. No sales. Consumer spending is not there. Private spending is very weak, and that's the difficulty.
You know, the former Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan was on the Sunday talk shows, and he said, you know, the key to jobs growth is innovation. So, Bill, I'm curious from where you're sitting, if you're seeing signs of any new products, services that you think will have the potential to really catch on, say, like, you know, the PC that drove us out of the last jobs problem, the last recession.
Well, the PC certainly helped. What was going on during the last time around was, of course, Y2K. So, excuse me, everybody bought a new PC, and we did generate a lot of jobs there. But really, a new innovation doesn't generate that many jobs for the most part. It was really nice for, you know, Google, really nice for Bill Gates, Microsoft, and they employ a lot of people, but relatively they don't. What really counts is new hardware stores, new nail salons, new lawn services, all these kind of ordinary, kind of boring businesses. But that's where the jobs are for most Americans. 90% of the employers in the U.S. have under 20 employees, and it's the growth there that we need in order to get the job machine moving again.
You know, small business owners, getting back to this issue you touched on of credit and this $30 billion loan that the president is putting out specifically for small businesses to increase borrowing. But again, as your survey found and as you've detailed for us, it seems like small business owners don't even want the credit because business is so bad. Is loan flow important to recovery?
Well, I think it is going forward. Obviously, if you look at the numbers, you know, we built too many houses, so new home constructions, you know, half of what it normally is. We're buying 2/3 of cars we usually buy. Capital spending plans are at 35-year lows. Inventory investment plans are at 35-year lows. This is the stuff that we usually borrow money to finance, but nobody's borrowing for these kinds of things. So if you give a small business owner you know, more money, what are they going to do with it? A tax cut or a loan? They're going to say, yeah, but what do I do with it? Okay. The prospects aren't that good.